Hey guys, I put this on purpose just to give you guys a fair representation on how it actually looks at its worst. Not too many people are going to put on a video to have you take a look at it at its worst. This is about 35, 40 years old, this show here. And I don't even know what show it is, to be honest with you, but this is the LG C9. And one thing I've noticed after the TV, I've had it for at least a week, maybe 2 weeks, is the break-in period of TV sets, and it does exist. I thought it was like a snake oil type thing where people like say, "Oh, it breaks in. It looks cleaner once it breaks in." But I on purposely left this TV on for about 3 or 4 days straight to get up to the 100 hours really fast, and I purposely didn't watch it, all the time for that period of time. I watched it when I first got it, and then I basically ignored it for like 2 or 3 days. Went back to it and noticed that it was a lot sharper than it was when I first got it. It's because I guess it's the dielectric material of the television set itself. It actually breaks in. We're talking about all the materials in the actual electrical path. And once that kind of breaks in and settles in, it has more cohesiveness basically within that electrical signal. And that's the same for cables, and it's also, especially on cables, you'll see it on Synergistic Research site, and you'll also see it on AudioQuest site. So that is a true fact. Some items are affected more than others. So it could be some TVs can be affected more than others. The 950G was really bad when I first got it. It looked a lot clearer after the break-in period of 100 hours. It's just one of those phenomenons. Also, I'm going to talk to you about burn-in. Now, a lot of you people are gamers out there. First of all, I'm going to be up front with you, coming from the heart. If you are a gamer, and I used to be a heavy gamer about 15 years ago. I was actually #1 on Madden in 2005, believe it or not, for a week. On the no, actually 2006 was on the Xbox 360 when it first came out. So that was my claim to fame. And at that point in time, I had a lot more time than I do now. That's for sure. But I would not recommend anybody that games all day to buy an OLED TV. And that's just me personally. Some of you older guys might say, "Oh, I do it all the time," but I wouldn't recommend. I wouldn't feel comfortable recommending that for anybody. And that's just my personal view of OLED TV sets. I think it's more of a TV that's more for occasional gamers. Like if you're going to game once a day, every once in a while, and you play for a couple hours, maybe 3 hours a day, then you maybe watch a little bit of TV, watch some Netflix, watch a movie. I think it's more geared towards that person. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's geared for anybody that's actually going to game all day long and enter competitions, buy the racing wheel and all that stuff, which I had a good friend of mine review for the tube. He just bought a racing wheel for his setup, and it's a mighty sharp one as well. He might even comment on that as well. So shout out to him on that, and congratulations on your wheel, man. I know you paid a lot of money for it. But, heavy gamers like that or somebody that actually plays, I would not recommend it. Now, he's an experienced TV owner, so he knows, not to keep the game in certain modes all day long. So, but for you that are just buying TV sets, I would stay away from OLED if you're going to be an all-day gamer. If you're just going to walk off, leave the TV up, go down, grab a pizza. It does have, screensaver effects that come up all the time, and on the new TVs, they've gotten way better than the old TVs of the burn-in. So, speaking of old TVs, I'd like to touch base with you guys also. I had a TV, it's called the LG 65E A980V. If you remember, that LG TV was the first one that came out. It wasn't even 4K, it was 1080p. I only had it for a short amount of time, but I did run into an article of someone that has the 55-inch, and he has over 5,000 hours of time on the TV set with no burn-in. Also, he does some calibrations, and he has some evidence of calibrations, and how the picture did not change. As far as what he could see, the black level stayed the same, and everything else. So I'll leave that article right underneath the comments there, and I want you guys to click on that article, grab a cup of coffee, read it, and maybe that'll make you feel more at ease of buying OLEDs, because I know there's some clickbait artists out there that are just putting out stuff just so you guys could click on their page and get more views. They must think they're going to get a lot of money. I don't know what they're doing, but some people, I guess, think they're going to get quite a bit of money on this. Hold on. Sorry about that, guys. Looks like the program was over and I had to change the what you guys were watching. Here's an even older program. I think this thing came out in the late 60s, early 70s. So it's called Gunsmoke. I even remember my dad watching this. So, I mean, yeah. But anyway, guys, well, I was going over it was the burn-in, and you know how I would not recommend if you're going to game all day long. I would recommend probably a Samsung Q80R, Q90R, and those TVs are brilliant for gaming. Not that this TV is a bad TV for gaming, but I don't think you should game on it all day long, and that's my personal opinion. So I'm going to leave that link underneath below for you guys to take a look at, and we could go from there after that. And you guys leave your comments. Let me know what you think about the article. And it's actually on the oldest OLED ever made, which I actually owned, by the way. I think I paid $5,000 for it. I took it back to the store. Maybe it wasn't quite that much. Maybe it was $4,000. But anyway, I took it back because the motion was so horrible on it. It was not even funny. But I'm glad I did, because the next year they came out with 4K TVs, of course, with OLED. And of course, we're fast forwarding about almost 6 years from then, and OLEDs are way better than they were before. So just wanted to give you a representation of how bad the TV could actually look with the worst content possible on here. And but I admit it does not look bad at all, considering what we're actually looking at. So this is a regular TV program, off air, regular antenna, and like I said, it doesn't get any worse than this as far as what this TV can do. So this gives you an idea of the tremendous and great upscaling of the A9 chip. So that's basically it, guys. And another thing is, I ran into somebody when I got this TV that had the original OLED, the one I actually owned and took back. Him and his wife still have it. They watch regular content and they have no burn-in as well. But like I said, the TVs have really gained a lot of they've really beefed up the TVs now. I understand they run a lot cooler also as before to some of the older OLED TVs. But the C9, this is this is basically the end all as far as what they could do with OLED, in my opinion. They say they might get a little bit brighter here. I'm not too sure about that, but as far as them perfecting their craft, they've done a hell of a job on the C9. You guys have a great one. This is in 1960, I believe, or 1080. I can't remember. I put in something that's would upscale it to about 1080. So just wanted you guys to take a look at it, and that's it. You guys have a good one, and click on the link, like and subscribe. Put those thumbs up. And as I was saying earlier, I just remembered what I was saying earlier before it went to commercial. Is some of these guys on here thinking they're going to get a lot of money. It takes you about 500,000 to 1 million subscribers to actually start making real money on this YouTube. So I definitely are not in that gang trying to, get that. I haven't seen any people that make the video or the audio or any type of electronics here go over 100,000. Have you guys seen anybody besides iJustine maybe? And I don't think she does just the videos for YouTube. I think she does everything. So I haven't seen anybody else go way up there. I think Vincent's pretty high, but I haven't seen anybody even hit 500,000 yet. So some of these people out here just trying to, give you their agenda and try to get you to get clicks. I don't know what their motives are, really. I mean, because they're not getting that much money off the YouTube. Take care, guys. You have a good one. Food for thought.